I wanted to give you a mid-season El Nino update to show you what's happening so far. If you remember and you go back to the beginning of when we started to see the significantly strong El Nino, we said typically what you see is the heaviest rain from Southern California, Texas into Florida. The Pacific Northwest is dry, and the big question mark is what's going to happen here in Northern California with the reservoirs. Here's what's happened so far, and I call this the 17 million person bust because we all live here and we're like, where is the rain? Well, the great news is it's in central Northern California, and the Pacific Northwest has completely erased their drought. But for the rest of the country, New Mexico, Colorado, Texas, and Florida, they've gotten all of their wet El Nino winter rain. But there's this big gap here, or I should say small gap, in Southern California. So that typical pattern, what happens is you get the Pacific, or you get the subtropical jet stream that brings the rain into Southern California, Texas, into Florida. What's happened so far this winter is we've got this blocking ridge, and again, it's been good news for our reservoirs, but it's brought the heavy rain in the Pacific Northwest and Northern California, and of course, the snowpack. Here's why that's happening. David Bigger and I have been talking about this. We're actually seeing the warmest water with El Nino out here in the Central Pacific. In 1997, 98, 82, 83, that water was closer to South America. And so what's happening with this is this area of low pressures rising this air into the Hawaiian Islands, and we're getting the sinking air here to the north of the islands, so the jet stream is creating this ridge. This isn't going to last forever. That water has to cool. Once it cools, the jet stream is going to be able to sink a little bit, and that upcoming pattern change comes February 20th to March 4th. So if you're wondering when we're going to get that rain in Southern California, it looks like the end of February, early March. And so here are the takeaways with this. January, February to March are the months we've been saying all along you need to watch, and we're not done. We've got 8 weeks to go, so there's a lot of winter left to see what happens in Southern California with our El Nino.